Rise, Ashen, Tarnished, Chosen, Undead, and welcome Souls fans new and old to the third installment of the Dark Souls Remastered Platinum Trophy Guide for worst case RNG scenarios so that you can guaranteed follow along regardless of your enemy drop situation. So, in our last video we beat a couple of bosses, so we beat Quelaag, we beat the Ceaseless Discharge, we got Toxic Mist for 25,000 souls, and we got ourselves to soul level 27 with our stats looking like this. So hopefully you're following along, because this is a very specific build. We are spending souls at very specific times on very specific items to make sure that we don't miss anything or have to backtrack and so forth. Hopefully you're enjoying the series so far. Hopefully you've liked and subscribed to encourage me and help with future platinum runs for games such as Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, 3, and any other games. We could even do Elden Ring if desired as well. So, what we're doing now, we're going to make our way back to the bottom of Blighttown, back into the swamp. And we are going to do the Great Hollow, or I call it the Ashen Hollow for some reason, despite that Ashen isn't really a thing in this game, that's Dark Souls 3, but the Great Hollow. An area we only have to go once in our 2 1/3 playthroughs, thankfully, because it's just a long way out of the way, to be honest. But we need to go there for a few key items that we need for trophies. We need to get a miracle, we need to get a covenant, and we need to get the dragon greatsword as well. And we're going to try and make it as easy and accessible as possible for you. I'm also going to give you a chance to get some cheeky large titanite and green titanite drops along the way. I will not pick them up. I will pick them up when we do a farm for them later on. I'm going to, again, cater for worst case scenario, so I'm going to assume no drops where you may get drops and make things quicker for you. I'm just going to make sure, just in case, because I don't want anyone to follow this and go, oh, well, you had this number of green titanites and I don't, so I have to do something different to you. That's what I'm going to make sure. So, back through the swamp we go. Chomp, chomp. Trudging through the swamp. For future journeys through the swamp, we are going to get the rusted iron ring, which means we will be able to run through at normal pace. However, at this stage, even though other players might wait before they go to Blighttown and try and do the stray demon first, this just makes sense to trudge through the swamp just this once. Or it does to me anyway. I think this is the easiest way of playing it. So we're going to come back in here and back and rest at our bonfire. So at this point, we are just shy of getting the 4,900 souls we need for our vitality to 18. So what I'm actually going to do is do a quick, very mini farm. I'm going to run out here, two-handed the sword. I'm going to kill this enemy. That's going to give me 100. And I'm just going to do that a few times. I'm going to probably do that one more time, and then I'm just going to pop 2 of our smallest soul packets for the extra 400. If you have had to spend those already because you've died and you've needed to catch up and you didn't want to do farming yourself, well, then I'm afraid you're going to have to do some farming yourself to get the 4 extra kills there. So I'm just going to pop 2 normal Soul of the Lost Undead. Alternatively, rest, kill, rest, kill, rest, kill, rest, kill, and there it goes the same. Vitality to 18. There we go. Now, make sure your humanity is at least 10. Doesn't matter if you're hollow or unhollow, but make sure you have 10 humanity for the best chance of item drops, as we're going to do the slug run on our way to the Great Hollow. And let's go. So we're going to kill this guy one more time. Chop, chop, and this time we are definitely going to kill all of these mosquitoes. So the mosquitoes, where they just kind of fly there on the spot, that is a mosquito nest. So as you can see, once you kill one, another one spawns in pairs. 8 in total at the nest. So there's 4. Let them get a little bit closer, otherwise you won't kill them with one arrow. There's 6. 7. And apparently the 8th one doesn't want to spawn today, so yeah, fair enough. Well, we'll take either I miscounted or, yeah, 2-hand sword here because there is another chaos spider just around the corner. Grab large soul of proud knight. As you can see, that poison rocking up. Don't worry, you are going to get poisoned. Not a big deal. Try and use your heal miracle over your Estus flasks where you can, just because we've got quite a long journey and we're not going to rest on a bonfire. The whole point is we're not going to do the journey back. We're going to homeward bone to get back to the Blighttown bonfire, so we don't have to do the long and difficult trek back. So, come around this corner, grab here, that's the Pyromancy Poison Mist and the Tattered Cloth set. We get poisoned. We're going to swap to the Tattered Cloth Manchettes, which is going to help slow down how much damage we take from poison, because it's got slightly better poison resist. Against these slugs, shield up. They have 2 attacks. The spit, 2-handed, will kill them in 1. Just check the body. So sometimes their body is large enough that it will hide the glow of an item. Get this large soul of proud knight. So yeah, they have a spit and they have a body slam. The body slam can do a chunk of damage, so just best to keep your shield up when they're around. I'm not healing the poison because we'll just get poisoned again. So round here, there is another slug here. There's the body slam, 2-hand, slice. 2 slices with 1 hand, 1 slice with 2 hands. No item on this one, carry on. 1 slug is going to engage. There he is. Spit and 2-hand slice. Next slug engages because I got a little bit closer. We're just going to pick these one by one, because if you do get body slammed by a couple of them, then that could be a rather dangerous problem. This one won't engage you unless you get in front of it, so just sneak up behind and kill it. No drops. I'm not going to pick them up if they drop, but I'm pointing them out because I want you to pick them up if they do. Come a little bit in and this one will engage. Don't go too far forward, otherwise you're going to engage another one further up. Spit, slice. But I also want to just show you how the item can hide under their body, because sometimes it can drop and you not notice it. Again, don't come too far forward, so you only engage one at a time. Let the shield take the damage. And here we are, number. I say number like I was going to know how many it was at this point. I've not kept track of the slugs. So come around here. As you might have seen, there's a slug around this corner here. No, here. Thank you, game. Wow, still no item at this point. So the one in the distance there, he's going to aggro, not the one that's closer to you. Wow, still no drop. Once you get to the item, that one's going to aggro you. And, oh, okay, we've been unfortunate enough that we've triggered 2 in 1. So just be a little bit more mindful. Work your movement around so that you can hopefully not get hit by 2 of them. This corpse is a large Titanite shard, so we want that. That's a guaranteed one. Don't want to be blocking with a sword. Although it's not, I mean, it's definitely better than getting hit without blocking. It's not the same as blocking with a shield, as hopefully you can understand. Come around here, the one on the left is going to engage. I can't believe none of them have dropped anything when we've got 10 humanity. Slice this one, won't aggro. Yep, and coming here, the one on the far left engages. Oh, none of them. There we go, one on the left. As you saw, I was locked onto that one. I shifted my focus to that one, I should say. Oh. Well, that is unheard of that none of them dropped anything, but that's for me. For you, pick it up if they drop. It will either be a large Titanite or 5 green Titanites. That's what you want them to drop, is the 5 green. That saves you so much money. That item there is a weapon that we don't need, so I don't bother picking it up. It just clumps up your inventory screen. You're going to have quite a few swords, shields, spears and everything else, so why have an extra one that you don't need when you can avoid it, is my stance. And we're going to come around here, sticking to the path for as long as we can before we come here. Hopefully we're only going to engage one of these slugs at a time. If you go too far forward, you will get a 2-on-1. It is more likely than not, so just be aware of that. Well, still none of them dropping any items with 10 humanity. There you go. So look, as you can see, it is a little bit difficult. You can't always see the item, so just make sure you check the bodies. That's what I wanted to show you. So you pick up those items, because large Titanite shard and green Titanite shard times 5 is so good. We are going to go up there momentarily, however, there is a guaranteed green Titanite shard around here, and we want at least one. We have to have at least one for what we're going to be doing later when we create our divine weapon. This one aggroes, the other one does not, so this is another opportunity for you to just sneak up and shonk. And pillage here for a green Titanite shard, as promised. And there you go, that is trudging through the swamp. The next time we do that will be to farm for green Titanite shards, but we will have the rusted ring, so we'll be able to move much quicker. And what we're going to do now is use our purple clump to heal. If you do not have one, don't worry, you're just going to have to use a few more heals along the way until it naturally wears off. So it's not the end of the world, but yeah, ideally you're able to heal. Wooden plank shield, no point picking that up. Roll through here or attack it, that's a hidden wall. In this chest, a twin humanity. Some would think that's good enough, however, it's not. There is another hidden wall behind it. What perfect bait for you to go, oh wow, that was a twin humanity, that's pretty good. And no, the Great Hollow. Big tree. Climb down the ladder, you can drop down, but you're going to take damage if you drop down there, and we're going to do quite a few drops that are going to damage us. Do not rest here. If you rest at this bonfire, you're going to have to run all the way back through that swamp. You do not want to do that. So, instead, do not rest there. What you are going to do is you are going to drop onto this branch down here. You might have seen the glimmer of blue as a crystal lizard disappeared. That is why we are going here. So drop down. Yes, what this does mean is if you do make a mistake and die, you are going to have to trudge all the way back through the swamp. I'm sorry for that. Hopefully following this is going to make it as easy as possible that you don't die. The aim is that we only have to go through this journey once. So come up the path you dropped, drop down here. Double check, there might be a crystal lizard here. There are actually 3 that spawn just in this row. And what we're going to do is we're going to kill 2 of them. So to do that, because they've all disappeared, we're going to quit and reload the game. Doing so gives you a 2 in 3 chance of a crystal lizard reappearing where it was. So we're just going to have to quit reloading until they appear. So the bottom one didn't, the middle one didn't, the top one, oh, didn't. That was worst case scenario. Okay. Wow, all three of them. Maybe it's a 1 in 3, but no, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a 2 in 3 chance that they will respawn. Other Souls games it's guaranteed. This one it is not. Bottom one didn't, middle one didn't, top one didn't. Oh, wow. So as I said, we're only going for 2 of them. You are more than welcome to push for the 3rd or further down the tree where I don't go for the crystal lizards. You're welcome to get as many as you want. There you go, there's the bottom one. So he goes into this little recess. You need to make sure you step away because you don't want to get caught on the tree like that. There you go, 4 hits and he's dead. And okay, I'm going to pretend I didn't get the Titanite slab because you definitely won't have that. The 2 twinkling are what we're actually going for here. Titanite slabs are incredibly rare. We need 3, and all 3 that we are going to get are going to come from the not Taurus demon, the Stray demon. I will not be using the one that I just got there. I will be showing you how to do this game assuming worst case, which means you will only get slabs from the Stray demon. There are other enemies that do drop them. Again, we are going to worst case this, so do not panic. If you go, oh well, I didn't get a slab there. That is the first time I've got a slab there, so don't worry. But we are going to kill one more crystal lizard. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Because we do need to kill 2, it just helps in terms of having the right number of Twinkling Titanites for when we do upgrade our Black Knight weapon towards the end of our first run. There he is. Stick to the side of him. The last thing you want him to do is for him to run off the edge, because then he won't die. There you go, Twinkling Titanite, and the rest is bonus. So there you go. So once you've got those, we are now going to make sure we safely drop down. There we go. This path here leads you back to the top where that bonfire was that I said do not use. So we don't need to go up there. And obviously we couldn't take this path down because we needed to be higher up, which is why we had to do that drop. So come down here to the left. That item there, that is a ring that we won't use. There's a crystal lizard here. He spawns roughly on this middle section here if you want to try and quick reload him. Obviously I'm not doing that, we've done the other one. As you can see, there is an item, well, you might have seen there's an item down there. That is the next item we are going to pick up, which is a red chunk. So to do that, we're going to get to the end of this path here and we're going to roll off. It would almost be red, white and blue, apart from there are normal chunks that happen in the middle along the way. So from there, you are going to roll again, and you're going to roll onto this. There you go. Up here is a normal Titanite chunk. And as you can see, there is a basilisk. We are about to fight 3 of them in this little area here. Key thing with the basilisks, the good news is the armor that we have equipped, if you've got the same as me, the gold helm and tattered cloth, has a very high curse resilience. They spew a curse gas which will petrify you. What that will do is that will immediately turn you hollow, kill you off, and I believe it reduces your maximum HP. If not, it does in future Souls games. But either way, it is an insta-kill if the curse bar fills up. So all you want to do is just keep out of the gas. Shield up will help reduce it a little bit. But yeah, ultimately, you just want to be kind of a bit aggressive, but avoid the gas with the basilisks. So we're going to 2-hand in advance. We're going to roll. 2 of them are going to immediately see us. grab the soul packet, and they either jump like that, at which point run past so you don't get the gas. The other one is that big bellow there. As you can see, that lets a big gas out. So coming up here, 2 hits is all we need. And you can see that little skull bar, that is your curse bar. There you go. So just try not to get stuck in between all of them. That is your worst case scenario. If need be, come up here and then let them funnel. As they chase, you can then deal with them one by one. But there we go. Do keep an eye out. We do want a drop from them. We want the Eye of Death. That's part of the reason why we made sure we have 10 humanity. Is we do need only 1 from an enemy drop, Eye of Death. But don't worry, plenty of basilisks to fight. There's a few more in this area, and they are farmable later on. Much easier farm, where it's easier to control how many of them there are. Okay, just getting my bearings back, making sure I don't miss the next item. Yep, down and right. Yep, another crystal lizard there. There are plenty of crystal lizards. There's actually 2 that appear on that lip. We only need 2 from this area for what I'm doing. You're more than welcome. Save yourself some souls if you really want to farm them, but I just find it's a bit tedious and annoying. I'm just looking around. There's the drop that I want. So, drop down to this. And then it is a bit of a daunting drop, so just make sure you are lined up. Drop down here. And there's your white. Next one will be blue. So that's red, normal, white, and then blue. And that will be all the chunks. If you miss one, do not panic, do not worry, don't go, oh my god, how do I backtrack from here? It's fine. Worst case is it's 1 more Black Knight farm that you're going to have to do. So, drop, and then pick up a blue chunk from here. There you go. So from here, we're going to drop down again. And now this last one, don't worry if you missed this. This is a tricky actual one. You can slip off this ledge. Get your 2-hand ready because there are basilisks down here. So don't spend long on that branch. If you do land on it, step, pick up the red chunk, and get ready. Plunge. If you don't get it, don't worry. It's still 2 swings for a basilisk. He did not drop the item. Do be careful, there are holes in the floor. They're big holes, you will be able to see them. But if you're not looking down, you might miss. So there you go, there's one that has a ladder. The other basilisk, I think, has dropped down. Yep, so there's 2 in this bit, and then there's supposed to be 3 further down. Looks like there's going to be 4 further down, because there's only 1 here. So, this part here, where there's 2 of these kind of viney branches, there's an item here. Again, don't worry if you miss it. Don't spend long on that branch, because the basilisks are going to spew their curse fog, and it will reach you from up there. So, drop, pick up the blue chunk, drop down, swing, swing. Be ready, because there are plenty of these guys. Oh, we're just going to avoid him. He's spewing stuff. There we go. This guy, for some reason not attacking, we'll take advantage. This guy. No drop, no drop. There is 1 more. As there should be 3, but one of them dropped down from higher up. So, 4. No. I wonder if it's at character creation that they determine what your RNG drop percentage is going to be, because I have not done very well, but that's probably for the best because this is a worst case run. Pick up the soul packet. You are going to notice as we go down that there is an item on a branch coming up. We have intentionally left it. There it is, partly because we don't need it and partly because that is one of the trickiest drops in the game, if you ask me. There is no safety barrier to it. You either make it or you slip off and die. And for an item that you don't need, it is not worth it. Don't worry about those shadows, they're all the ones that we've defeated, so there aren't any more basilisks that we're going to be dealing with. There are a couple more in this area, but we're just going to run past them. So, all we're going to do, down this lily pad, down here for another chunk, and these little cute mushroom guys, we're just going to ignore them. We don't do enough damage to them, and they do enough damage to us. Simple recipe for ignore. The big ones we definitely ignore, because they, if not one shot, they will two shot you guaranteed. So we're just going to avoid them, go through this fog. Take off your weapons so that, take off your weapons so that you have a fast roll and you get an even faster stamina recovery, because we're mainly going to run at this point. There was a bonfire to the right. We are not going to do that, because the whole point of this is that we can homeward bone back to the bottom of Blighttown. So yeah, ignore that. Stick to the top of this lip, and there is a Hydra that we are going to completely ignore. We are in no way ready to fight that, and it is in every way ready to fight us. This is a dragon scale. I always pick it up because it's right in front of my face. You have no need for it, you do not need to pick it up. Once we get towards the end here, this is where I just keep my shield up at this point and I stop sprinting. At some point the Hydra is going to jump across and spew its water attack. You definitely want the shield up to help absorb some of the damage. Odds are you're getting hit. It is a very slim chance that you will avoid it. And as you can see, it does a lot of damage. Heal and run. Run, 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 run. And that should be the only time that the Hydra is able to hit you. And we're actually going to cheese the Hydra in a moment to make it disappear when we need to. But for the moment, get round here, get up onto this ledge here, and you are safe to equip your Drake Sword again. Two-hand it, be careful here, the camera will 100% of the time go weird when you get to this area. It's going to fight against you, and if you are running, you can fall off without wanting to. There you go, there's the camera there. So I walk very carefully, lock on now, and then swing, swing. Does he drop an Eye of Death? No, he does not. Okay, careful here, we do need to drop off onto this lower log. Just edge ever so carefully forward, bit by bit. The last thing you want is to fall to your death after all that you've done so far. There you go. That was the last real tricky bit. So here, you're going to come out, you are going to grab the Miracle Great Magic Barrier. That is a unique miracle that can only be obtained there. Come out here. Hello Hydra. Quit the game. Now you may be wondering, why have you quit the game? Because when we reload, the Hydra is going to spawn back to his original spawn point, which, if you remember when I first said there's a Hydra over there, is right back in the opposite corner to you. Fantastic. So that is how we avoid having to deal with the Hydra for this part of the journey. Stick to the right edge of this white line and you don't have to worry about that clan attacking you. Although they are you can deal with them at this point, they are significantly higher level than you are, so we're just going to avoid it, keep an eye on your stamina, and we're just going to run to the end of this path now. Now, I remember the first time I stumbled upon this on my first Souls journey, and I saw this giant dragon at the end, and I did not know about how to cheese around the Hydra, or any of that. And I had very little healing left, and I saw this giant dragon, and I panicked. Then I saw there was a bonfire in front of it, and went, this is weird. Two things. First of all, the dragon is not aggressive, it is friendly. Secondly, do not Do not rest at the bonfire. Do not rest. The whole point is that we can walk back. We do not have to do the long journey back. Instead, we're going to pray to the dragon for a trophy. We are going to enter the Covenant. And there is your 7th trophy. Covenant Path of the Dragon. Get the items, back out. And not only is he friendly, he is very kind in that he is going to let us cut his tail off. He will not retaliate in any way. 7 cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just letting my stamina recover a little bit. 5, 6, 7. There you go. Dragon Greatsword. Press OK. And we are done in this area. We will not have to come back to this area ever again on this platinum run. Homeward Bone, which takes you to the last bonfire you rested at, which is all the way back here in Blighttown. We should now have enough souls that we can level up. We're going to level up our strength to 17. And now, finally, you will be glad to hear, we are leaving Blighttown. I don't know what's happening to my legs there. Sitting with your legs on the fire will do that. So, to get out of Blighttown, we are going to detour. We're going to try and get, well, we are going to get a Firekeeper soul. You may get hit with Toxic on your journey for that. All I can say is, get the Firekeeper soul, Homeward Bone back if you get Toxic, if you don't have a heal. So that's if you don't have a blooming poison moss. I don't have any moss at all. Get back to here and then we'll go past. Hopefully that will make sense once I show you what we're talking about. But come around here. Ultimately, if you don't have a way of healing Toxic, I need to put my bow back on. Kill these mosquitoes. Odds are they will have already engaged you or engaged towards you. If not, they will do when you step a bit further forward. So it's better just to kill them here before they become a problem when you're dealing with Toxic blowpipers, which you do not want to have to deal with mosquitoes staggering you at that time. So as you can see, I'm letting them come a little bit closer so I kill them with 1 arrow instead of 2. There we go. So with them dead, we can carry on. And we're going to go back up the water wheel. Now, if you are unfortunate enough that the dodgy physics of this water wheel, when you dismount it, kills you, make sure you equip the Ring of Sacrifice until you collect your souls so that you don't lose anything, and more importantly, you will not lose your 10 humanity. There is nothing worse than in a simple-ish area, but it has a way of cheesing you, that you lose all your humanity in the early game. You'll have enough for afterwards later on. So roll, and there is an example of what can happen. See, I talked it in. I was explaining it to you, and the game just wanted me to show you, don't panic in case what happens. So I was a little bit late there. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to equip the Ring of Sacrifice. That means if it happens again and I haven't collected my souls, then I'll have another chance to get them. Wow. All my test runs where I've done that flawlessly, and I have it in my notes that it's a precarious risk. And there we go. It clearly wanted me to show you, if it happens to you, don't worry, it can happen to us all. I'm sure the seasoned Souls players will be able to say, no, if you do it like this every time you're fine, but yeah, every maybe 1 in 8 times I do that, there seems to be a risk that I might fall off, so don't worry if it happens to you. If you're watching this and going, well, I didn't die there and now you've got a few extra 100 souls that I don't worry. Again, all of my soul calculations I'm not doing on the fly. They've been predetermined to guarantee in every case scenario, whether you have died, whether you haven't died, or so forth. I mean, if you die, as long as you collect your thing, you will be able... Where? Oh, okay, there they are. I was like, where are my souls? Because I can't collect them on that ledge where I died. There we go. So we're going to remove that ring. Don't want that on anymore. And we're going to do this again. And of course, we're going to show you how it properly works. Aren't we, game? So as you can see, I'm no longer inhuman. So my 10 in the top left corner is dulled. But most importantly, I have my souls back and I have my 10. And roll. There you go. I would say that was embarrassing, but obviously, you know, clearly that was just so I could demonstrate the Ring of Sacrifice, and reclaiming your souls is not a big deal. Clearly. And if you believe that, I'll sell you some insurance. I'm a bit lispy there. Shadow. No, there should be another mosquito, but apparently he doesn't want to play yet. Okay. So, back up this ladder. Okay, shield up. This is going to help reduce... There's the mosquito. There you go. Toxic blowpiper, 1 of 3. Swing, swing, shield up. Do not press OK on that moss clump yet to get rid of the icon until it's safe to do so. And it's not safe to do so. Shield up. Running swing kills this one. And as you can see, there's 2 more waiting around the corner. Now you're here, clear that. And I didn't get any blooming there, so I have to deal with these guys without the ability to heal from the toxic. Less than ideal, but hey ho. Shield up. Swing twice. Oh, okay, there's a blooming there. I was going to say, it's so unlikely that you'd miss it on all of them. So I'm going to equip that to my bar, just in case I do get toxicked. But to show you what to do for this guy, we're going to shoot an arrow, get hit, move around the corner. Let the toxic meter go down to about a third, go around, shoot an arrow, get hit, move around the corner. He does very little physical damage, is purely that toxic meter is the only reason why we have to do this, but I'm showing you how to play safe, play smart. If you get hit more than once, you will get toxicked. And no one wants that. This mosquito, no one wants him either. Sorry to say, but it's true. Sometimes they can fall down, and if they do, it's fantastic because you get a nice easy snipe on them. Oh, caught him sleeping. There we go. Okay. Those blowpipers done. Now we're going to deal with these red dogs. Again, we're going to play smart, so we're not going to jump down and let them gang up on us. Instead, we're going to shoot them each once to get them over to the ladder. And then now they're over the ladder, we're just going to aim center of mass, and we're going to keep firing arrows, and we will hit at least one of them as they kind of try and dodge out of the way sometimes. Oh, look at that. We got a twofer. So I don't know if you've noticed, but arrows, they do not hit the center of the crossbar, they go slightly to the left of it. Just worth noting. Don't go down yet, there's one more annoying toxic blow darter that we are now going to take out. And this is actually where the Firekeeper soul is, the reason why we've come here in the first place. So there he is. We're going to roll into these barrels. 2-hand, swing. There we go. Before we jump down, we're going to come to the other side here. Soul of a Proud Knight. 2-hand. There are 2 dogs down there. Make sure you get locked onto one of them. There we go. Step off and plunging attack. So step, attack, and get them both. That has never failed for me, so hopefully it'll never fail for you. There's the Firekeeper Soul. If you do get hit with Toxic, and you don't have a way of healing it, use your Estus Flask to keep your health up, get down here, get this item, and try and Homeward Bone back. That is the best I can do. Alternatively, equip as soon as you get hit by Toxic, equip the Ring of Sacrifice, keep healing yourself with Estus, run here, get the item, and that way if you die, doesn't matter, you won't lose anything, you won't have to come back to get anything, and you can then carry on the journey out. So there were 2 more dogs at the end by the water wheel there. You don't have to fight them, you're welcome to. They're not worth a huge amount. There they are. As you saw, they didn't aggro because we didn't get close enough to them, so all is good. And we're back here. So this is where we came up and I said keep your shield up. So if you do die and come back because you've got the item and you died or you homewooded, all you do now is with the blowpiper there, you don't even have to fight him, come up this ladder, and now they can't hit you from here on. And we are almost out of Blighttown. 2-hand, deal with the Chaos Spider. Up the ladders. And this is where we got the key that I said you don't need. I'm going to top up my health. For as you know, we now have 3 of the poop dung dropping toxic golem things. And again, we're going to fight them one by one. If more than one of you engages you at the same time, I strongly recommend just running past them at that point. It's not worth it. You can do backstabs to avoid being able to get hit with your iframes. However, it is just far safer if more than one of them is fighting you, that you just run past them, get to Firelink, and then don't have to deal with Blighttown and all of its toxic, poisony badness again. The area is fine, and once you know it, it's fine, but at this stage of the game, you run slow through the swamp. You don't have enough blooming moss to heal toxic if they get you with it. You're not doing a huge amount of damage to these guys. It's just the whole thing is just a bit of a mess, really. So yeah, not worth it. So yeah, just keep it safe if you get engaged with by more than one of them. There we go. And back to the Valley of the Drakes. Cross the bridge, grab the soul packet, open this door. So that's the key that we didn't need, because if you don't have that key, you open it with the master key. And you'll recognise, hopefully, that this is where we came at the very beginning of the game. So in the event where we got the Astora's Straight Sword and Dragon Crest Shield from that poison dragon, in the event you then need to get to Blighttown, but you died and that dragon is now awake and you can't get past it, from Firelink you can take this lift down, come out, go to the right, and with the master key you can open that door and still get to the Blighttown rear entrance from there. But in our case, we have successfully navigated the dragon, all of Blighttown, and we can use the Firekeeper Soul that we picked up to get our Estus Flask to +3. Maximum is 7, so we're well on our way, and we are healing with each swig of this golden nectar. We are healing more damage, more of our health back. rest at the bonfire, and that means that if we die, we don't go back to Blighttown, we now go back to Firelink. Fantastic. Level up. Strength to 18. Well on our way to where we want to be for our next weapons. So, what we're going to do now, we are going to get to ignore Frampt, that big sluggy snake there. Ignore him. We do not talk to him ever. He calls us a sorry fool, and therefore we ignore him throughout the game. We will talk in the second playthrough. We will talk to Keith down in the abyss for the second ending. However, in the first playthrough, we will be talking to neither of them. And for anyone that's playing for the first time that has no idea what a Keith is, it looks the same as Frampt, and you don't need to worry. We'll see him later. So, up the lift. We've popped the channeler, so he's not up there, we don't have to worry. And we're going to kill these guys. Again, so these ones, if they do drop, do pick up the drop, because there is a chance that that drop is either a straight sword, which we are going to buy 3 of those, that's 3,000, 1,000 each, or they could drop a Titanite, and we are going to buy plenty of Titanites along this playthrough. That's some souls that you don't have to spend, that I'm going to spend, because I'm not picking up these drops. So strut up behind and kill this Boulder Knight. We're getting some extra money for repairs and arrows before we do Sen's Fortress. That is the second time we've hit this wall, and thankfully both times he's decided to try and attack us, because he's gone, you've attacked a wall, you idiot. Which is fair. We are going to attack these 3 again. Souls, arrows, souls, repairs and arrows. Preparation for Sen's Fortress. So Sen's Fortress is our first area that we can really do some parry training. With the lizard men, the lizard men are not too dissimilar in some of their movesets to the Black Knights, Silver Knights, and that type of enemy. So yeah, pick up that just in case it's a Titanite. If you get a drop from any of these, I'm not, for aforementioned reasons. Worst case scenario, yada yada. But yeah, so the lizard men, we're going to farm them because we want a lizard man greatsword. And also that means that you get some good parry practice if you are less familiar with parries. You're very close to a bonfire, so if you die, you can revive at the bonfire, grab your souls, rinse repeat while you are farming for the weapons. But we're not going to farm until we first collect our last farming equipment, which is the covetous gold serpent ring, which will maximize our item drop percentage. So, I know that was a lot to take in. So, at this bonfire, we are going to kindle. So for me, I want to keep my humanity at 10. I have to go unhollow, so I can then kindle. So I'm going to need to spend 2 humanity. You may only have to spend 1. Alternatively, if you have lost all your humanity, I'm so sorry. Hopefully you got over that trauma. You do have enough twin humanities, that's 6 humanity total from that, plus 6 there, so that's 12 on itself, so that is enough to get to 12, unhollow and kindle, you'll still have 10 left, plus the 2 that I just spent, so you should be fine. We're going to reverse hollowing. We are going to kindle the bonfire, so again, kindling it means if we return or recover to this bonfire, we will have 10 Estus instead of 5. When we rest, that's what it will recover up to. Every time you kindle, it increases by 5. At the moment, 10 is the maximum until we get the right of kindling later. We are going to go back down and talk to Andre. Sup?
Well, hello again. You seem to be doing all right.
Repair equipment. So the Drake sword is the main thing that's going to need repairing. Doesn't surprise me. Everything else is fine. Purchase item. We are going to purchase the repair box, which means we can now repair our equipment at bonfires. And lastly, purchase item, arrows. We're going to spend the rest of our souls on arrows. Hopefully you will end up somewhere in the region of 110, 120, or in my case 139. I killed a few extra things because I had that unfortunate mishap with the water wheel. Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us wants to see you go hollow. And there we go. We are ready for Sen's Fortress. The gate has been opened. The bells have been rung. So, next video, hopefully not a surprise, will be Sen's Fortress. We'll be going through, we'll be collecting our next weapon, the Lightning Spear, the covetous Gold Serpent Ring. We will be farming for a Man Serpent Greatsword, which we will be using as our divine weapon for both trophy and for the catacombs. We'll be continuing Sigma's story and plotline, working towards getting the Emit Force miracle off of him later, and we will be reaching Anor Londo. All of that in the next chapter of our journey. So I hope you're enjoying playing along with me. I hope this is helping. Please like and subscribe if it is, also to help encourage the next set of Platinum Guide walkthroughs, which will be similar style to this. So if you've enjoyed this, hopefully you can enjoy playing along with my guides on other games in the future by liking and subscribing. Until then, I will see you all in the next chapter as we go through Sen's Fortress and finally reach the splendorous Anor Londo. So bye for now, see you soon.